In this video, we go over every utility item in Dark and Darker. I do this with my friend Otter, he's over on Kick, but you should stick around here and subscribe to me because I'm way cooler anyways. See you guys in the video. So I think for Ale, it depends on the class, I think. It has a lot of uses, but I think overall a lot of people don't use Ale, and it's a very niche thing to have, and if you're in combat, I don't see the actual use for Ale. Other
Ale's
than
underrated. What do you mean?
I mean, I think Brewmaster Cleric is definitely good, and I think that, but like other than that, I just don't see the use unless you find one. I don't see anybody actually bringing Ale unless you find one and you just use it.
See, I disagree. I mean, yes, you don't see a lot of people using it, but it's underrated. It's so underrated because strength is one of the best attributes to have on any piece of gear. Strength is huge. Strength gives you extra, like way more damage than you think. It also gives you innate armor pen, stuff like that. So it's so underrated. People should be bringing Ale in every single game. I would put it S tier, but nobody ever uses it, so I'd probably put it B.
I think in practical combat use, like imagine we begin to fight somebody, and I drink Ale. The amount of time that Ale lasts on you to the like time to kill somebody, I just don't think it's very practical. So I think it would be high B, but only because nobody uses it, and you can't really. It's just not that good. I mean, it's good, but it's not that good. I don't think it's S tier. Maybe low A tier, but it's definitely not S tier.
You haven't used a purple one.
No, I'm saying Ale's good. I don't see its practical use, and I think if you're playing like because I'm imagining this tier list being used in like a team scenario. In solo, I definitely think Ale is better, because
Okay. Yeah.
you know if you're using Brewmaster Cleric, and you are insane, you know what I mean, and you're just good. You have protection from evil, you know. But this is in a class review. This is tier list, and I think Ale it just isn't. It's just not going to cut it for high A tier or S tier. It's just
Also
not
on
that good.
Bard, you know what the Bard's perk does?
Yeah,
with
you
Ale?
can drink. Yeah, and I've seen builds where people use a physical healing and they drink Ale, but you know, at that point you're just trading all of your damage for physical healing, and it's not worth it at that point, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, but it also gives you move speed.
Still.
The move 10
Even
additional
so,
move speed. That's nice.
I mean, for the amount that you get healed, it's just
Plus
not worth it.
strength?
It's just not worth
I
it.
don't really care about the healing. I'm talking about move speed plus strength. Strength alone is worth. I mean, it only costs 8.
But again,
gold
I mean, this is
to get 8
we're using this tier
strength.
list as a general tier list, and this just on all classes isn't. This isn't
You're wrong.
this isn't a class tier list. If this was a class tier list, then I think that this would be good for Cleric and Bard only. Maybe Barbarian. That's it.
I think
bandages.
It's kind of like a protection pot. It helps with any fight, but it's not needed.
How do we
Moving
feel
on.
about bandages? I think bandages is easily high A tier.
Oh yeah.
Only because, in my opinion on the bandage, is like, it's a fast use item, and depending on the rarity of the bandage, you get healed for quite a lot.
Yep.
And I think bandages got an indirect buff because of your recoverable health not going away after you stand up now. So I
Yep.
think bandages innately are just A tier. Depends on what class. I think on Rogue they're the best, but again, this isn't a class review. It's overall use, and I think for every class, bandage is just good. Just overall a good item. It's not S tier, it's
For
not
sure.
game breaking, but it's good.
Yep.
Torch.
S easily.
Being realistic, I think with the torch buff, where they made it so you don't lose movement speed when you pull it out, it having actually pretty good damage depending on what class you're using it on.
True.
The ability to throw it and rend, rupture, Achilles strike people, I actually think torch isn't a bad item.
And you always start
let's be
with
honest.
it.
Let's be honest, it's not going A tier, but I think it's definitely a B tier item. It's worse than Ale,
I
in
can
my
agree with
opinion.
that. I'd say B or C.
It's worse than Ale. I mean, it's a torch, guys. Come on, moving on. Explosion bottle.
S. Actually S. Not,
I think
not
explosion
even
bottle is
joking.
like high A or mid A for me because it's not. I mean, S is something like. I mean, explosion bottle and oil lantern are the same thing essentially, But I think explosion bottles are better because you can stack them and you cannot stack lanterns.
Yeah, I mean,
But I think explosion bottle, it denies space. There's been times where I explosion bottle a doorway and
Yep, it blocks
they just
them
can't push
off.
me. And I've done this after a team has pushed through. So like one person comes through, I explosion bottle the door, they're stuck. Their team cannot help them. It zones them out.
1v3.
And so I think that is maybe better than bandage, depending on like, because they can't take space if you have an explosion bottle down.
I mean, think about it. What on this list is going to be S tier? I mean, that is one of the highest damage and most useful items.
We will
on the
definitely
list.
we'll definitely revisit like after the tier list is done. We'll move things around. But I think generally explosion bottle is a very good item.
Yeah.
And I also think it's another underrated item. I don't see a lot of people carrying or using explosion bottles, but it has definitely saved my life before.
Yep.
So, someone's chasing me, I explosion bottle a door, I have time to run away, to maybe possibly get a bandage or a pot off. I think it's a good item.
And you don't see people using it because you can't buy it.
Yeah. I mean, I think saving explosion bottles isn't really a bad play. Even gray ones. It denies space.
Yep.
So, it's a good item. Francisca axes. Hot topic right now.
Oh god.
I don't actually think... I think throwing knives are better than Francisca axes, and the reason why is because you throw them faster, they have more projectile velocity, so you cannot dodge them as easy, and you can throw them farther. But I think generally, if we're talking about in-combat uses, generally, Francisca axes are better in a team fight. In a team fight, if you're throwing knives, what are you doing? You know what I mean? I feel like maybe if someone's running from you...
Don't they do the same damage?
They do not. Francisca axes do 6 more damage than throwing knives, generally.
Oh.
But, again, I think Francisca axes are... It has to go A tier. It's not S tier. I think it's A tier, but is it worse than bandages?
I so badly want to put it at D just because fuck barbarians.
Like hot topic is explosion bottle better than Francisca axe? I don't think.
No, it's not.
I don't think it is.
I just so badly want to put it at D just because I hate being chased by a barbarian that has like 13 throwing axes and I'm like, why? Why do you have so many?
So, okay. People actually might disagree with this. I actually think healing potions after the nerf C tier.
After the nerf, what nerf?
So, they went from being able to drink different potions of different rarities to stack the healing effects, and different rarities having different healing amounts. But now, it is this, you could have a unique potion, and it heals for 15 still. I'm not saying that exists. I'm just saying you could drink a unique potion and it heals 15 but faster. And for that reason, I mean, 15 health, that's nothing. Right?
For that reason, I'm out. Insert Shark Tank meme.
I mean, seriously, this is probably the worst healing item in the game. I genuinely am thinking of D tier, but I mean, it's just gonna stay at C, man. I mean, it's okay if you're like rogue, right? Pop a healing potion, pop a pot. But with the amount of healing items in this game, it's just not cutting it. And for that reason, I'm out.
I would probably put it at B. Just because, you know, you get hit once, you can pop it, and you don't have to think about it anymore. You know, you're done.
I mean, think of the amount of these you have to bring, though. I mean, if every lobby you're bringing in like 9 potions, and you drink all of them, and you're not even like, you know what I mean? It's just not that good, especially with gray potions. I mean, even blue pots. Blue pots heal you for the same amount of HP. I mean, sure, they heal you a little faster, but like 15 health, it's just not... I don't see the practical use. In a team fight, you get hit with an arrow for half your HP, you pop a pot, you don't even get that back. It's just not good.
Yeah.
Speaking of ranged attacks, we're on to Bear Trap.
Oh my god.
I think Bear Traps are S tier.
Yeah.
Now, I know people are like, oh, but you just said in combat use. And yeah, Bear Traps require a tiny bit of setup. Be honest, you fight a good team, if you even step in a Bear Trap, you are dead. Your life is over. It could be a gray Bear Trap, your life is over. So I actually think it's S tier.
Bear traps instantly, 99% of the time, they instantly secure a win.
And if you play around bear traps, put them in shaded areas, put them in corpses of enemies, put them in bushes. If you're a stupid ranger, you'll put them in a doorway. If you're a stupid ranger, you will. People are like, oh, bear trap isn't good, I always disarm them. That's because you're fighting someone that doesn't know how to use it. I mean, generally, if you play around bear traps, it's a win.
Yeah. Did one time walked through a doorway and they had turned the lights out, so I didn't see the hunting trap. I step in the hunting trap. There's a ranger naked with a purple windless crossbow. Nothing else. Hits me in the head once, I die.
Your life's over. Yeah.
Yeah, it's it.
And I know I can already see the comments. People are going, well, if you're a fighter, you just block with your shield. Bro, if they are running without a wizard on their team or a cleric on their team, you know, what are you doing?
I mean, they just shoot you in the legs and you still die.
Yeah, and not even like sure, a class that can block can step in one of these and block the ranger's arrows. But what happens when the ranger has a spear? Like they're not always gonna try to shoot you. I mean, someone gets trapped in my trap and I see they have a shield, I'm just gonna spear them.
Yeah.
And this is while my team is with me.
Or
so it's like
explosive bottle them.
Yeah, again, I mean, bear trap combos with like every class. This is like earthquake plus lightning strike. It's just a good combo. Bear trap combos with every class in the game.
Yep.
So for that reason, I genuinely think it's S tier. I mean, maybe high A tier, you know, when we rearrange this list, but S tier.
Yeah.
Invisibility potion. I think
A, I think.
Yeah. I mean, but with the like nerf recently to it, where you need 15 knowledge, it's not like that affects anybody except for Rogue.
Yeah.
Except for Rogue, but
it only makes it so that the one class that can go invisible can't go invisible.
But I think overall, invisibility pot's actually really good. I'm seriously thinking S tier, and it's way worse than a bear trap. Let's be honest, but invisibility pots can save your life. They can secure you kills, landmine fighter, landmine barbarian. You know, I think that invisibility potion has the potential to be one of the best items in the game, only because potions innately last longer than rogues invis unless they have hide mastery. Every rarity that goes up, the potions last very long.
Yeah. Purples last a whole minute.
Yeah, so I think invis pots are S tier, bro. At least, or maybe high A tier. They're definitely better than Francisca Axes.
Yeah, I would put them top A tier. But
definitely better than Francisca Axes, but they're also not as good as bear traps, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, people always think that like, oh, it's a dumb potion, but like, dude, you can hide. Like you could save your life with this. You could secure a kill with this. So I think it's a good item. I think it's a very good item.
Yep.
Lockpickus. Now I know I said use in combat, so lockpicks would be D, but I think overall usage, low A tier. They're just a good item.
Yeah.
There's nothing special about them.
You have to put a D for combat though.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't use them in combat really. I mean, I think it would be very cool if they had the ability to lock doors.
That would be really cool.
I think that would, but right now they're just bad. Luck potion.
D.
No use in combat. Yeah. So, potion of magic protection. Now, hold on. These potions work like old shield potions do. This blocks like 40 magic damage, 25 magic damage, but if you take 7 million magic damage while the shield is active, all it will do is break the shield. It does not have carryover damage. So I think it's a very slept on S tier item because I've used these potions and gotten direct fireballed, no damage to me, and I'm a fighter. This is huge. I think this is a huge item for any class. If you have this potion on and Warlock tries to Curse of Pain you, nothing happens to you. Nothing. They can hit you directly, nothing happens to you. You don't take the Curse of Pain ticks. You don't even get hit with it. It doesn't hurt you. You're immune to Curse of Pain. And you're immune to Fireball. You're immune to Ghost King Scream. You're immune to Blow of Corruption. This is a great
I'd probably
item.
put it A or B just because they're tougher to get. You have to find.
Oh yeah, they're definitely tougher to
herb.
get, but we're not talking about toughness to get. We're talking about use in combat. In this scenario, you have a million of these. Good. They're good.
You also
mean-
have to be going up against a magic user, which right now, all you're seeing is Barb and Barber, Range and Ranger, Fight and
No,
Fighter.
yeah, I agree. But I think it's overall use. I mean, we're assuming that these items are against what's meta. So yeah, I could see how it wouldn't be good in this current meta. But Warlock's definitely part of the current meta. You see a lot of Warlocks right now.
It's
Sure,
gonna
not
be tomorrow when Demon Form comes out.
sure they're not all using Curse of Pain and you know, but I mean, I
They
think
are
it's a
all
good
using
item.
Blow of Corruption.
I think it's a good item. I think it's below Invispot maybe, better than Francisca's though.
I'd put it between Explosive Bottle and Bandage. That's where I would put it.
You'd put it here.
Either there or after the Bandage. Just because Bandage, so many more times you're going to be using that. I mean, half the time when I come across a player, I forget to pop the protection pot. Why would I remember
Okay.
to pop a magic protection
I can see
pot?
that. I mean, I guess it just depends on general use. I think I'm gonna put it above Explosive Bottle in terms of usefulness, just because it's extremely good. Magic Potion's extremely good. Okay, Mystical Gem. Can't use that in combat. Oil Lantern. Way worse than Explosive Bottle. I think C tier. Genuinely.
Yeah.
They don't stack. They do less damage than an Explosive Bottle. And they just take up your inventory space. Trash. Protection
And I'm
Potion.
pretty sure. Hang on, I'm pretty sure the oil lanterns have like a much smaller range of like burn on the ground.
They definitely
Or they
have a
have
smaller throwing arc too. You can throw explosion bottles farther than them.
Yeah.
Again, they're good for controlling space, but I mean, with the small damage they do, and the amount of inventory space they take,
Yeah.
unless they make them stack, they're just bad. That's just worse. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
put them D tier because that's brutal. They still have a use, especially if you find one, you just pick it up. You can
Yep.
still use it, but it's not that good. Protection Potion.
Protection S tier. After
S tier,
Hunting
yeah.
Trap.
I think. Yeah, I could see it as an S tier item. It depends. Like even purple protection potions stop 30 damage from hitting you.
Yeah.
And there is carryover damage. So imagine you hit with 50 damage, you only take 20 if you have a purple pot. But I think maybe high A tier, but I'll leave it at low S for now because it's a little empty. But yeah,
Why'd
search.
you put Soul Heart on this list?
It's all utility items. It's all utility items.
That's not a utility. Well, actually,
It is. It goes in your utility slot.
Fuck yeah, it is. Okay.
Surgical kit. Use in combat. I mean,
Mm,
your team protects you.
S.
You have time to get off a surge kit.
Yeah, if you can
Surge
get off
kit-
a surge kit while your team is like holding them off, and the other team isn't able to get off a surge kit, you win.
Something that people aren't mentioning about the surge kit is its ability to fake out opponents. Imagine I get hit literally one time, and I'm not fighting a ranger in this scenario, and I begin to use the surge kit. They think
think you're low and
I'm
they push.
low, and even
Yeah.
if they are half HP or lower, they push you, and then you
Yeah.
win. Your team wins. I think this is a good item. I think S tier is a little bad for this item. I think it would be below Invis Pots and above Francisca Axes. Because think
That's
about
fair.
it. If we're putting it
Yeah,
in
that's
S tier, like these items are winning you fights. This is not winning you fights. This is a very niche like bait item,
True.
and so I think it's A tier.
I'd put it after Francesca Axes.
Yeah, I'm gonna have it right here. Well, the A tier list. This is the highest item, so Invis Pot, Surge Kit.
Yeah, no, I think Francesca is better than Surge Kit.
Really?
Yeah, because like I don't know that like how often
It is a
do you see
throwable item
somebody-
that does damage, but I guess.
Francesca X is.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Francesca X is gonna win you a fight more often than a Surge
Yeah,
Kit.
I agree with you. Surge Kit's more of a bait item. And I think while we're on the topic, these magic protection pots are better than Surge Kits.
Explosive bottle too.
Yeah. So and bandage too, yeah. So you know what? It's just A tier. Maybe high B tier. We'll put it high B tier, maybe above ale.
Dude,
Soul
torches
Heart.
win you more fights.
Use in combat.
A.
No. D. You cannot use it. Again, maybe in a scenario, maybe C tier, only because you can maybe pretend to use an altar of sacrifice or whatever, or sorry, not altar of sacrifice, whatever you.
Well, wait. Would the Soul Heart also count the Cleric's Resurrection ability? Because that is huge. That
is
would
huge,
put
but
it, like,
again,
B or A.
this is not a class tier list. Only one class can use this item in combat, therefore C tier.
True. Yeah.
You can bait reses with other classes, but that's about it.
C or high
Throwing
D.
knives better than Francesca's. We've already determined that. Higher velocity. Throw more of them faster. Poison weapon actually works on it.
Yep.
It's just good. Wizards, rogues, and fighter can use throwing knives, so I think it's generally a good item.
Yep.
This helps wizards when they're out of spells. This gives rogue an ability to actually fight back against ranged fighters, so I think it's good. Troll's Blood.
I'd put that above the magic protection pot.
It's just not good. I mean, 1 health is second. I
One
mean,
health a second's huge.
yeah, but
If you're in a fight, if you're a barbarian, you know what? No, if you're any class, you rush a fight in front of your team, you hit a guy, you get hit once, you back off, your team takes over. Every second you're healing.
But this is
1 tick per second. Sure, that might not be a lot, but if you get hit and you take 20, 30 damage, that's only 20, 30 seconds, and then you're full HP again.
But
if
that's
you're fighting
still-
in the swarm, if you're fighting in the swarm doesn't
Oh,
hurt
yeah.
you at all.
yeah, this is. But I mean, think about it. We're talking about practical in combat uses. Fights aren't lasting. You don't have 30 seconds breathing room. You don't. Fights
For
last
the good
like
ones, you do.
20 seconds, 30 seconds. If it's a geared fight, and your teams are just rushing each other, I think it's a good item, but it's just not better than all of these items. I agree with this spot, but I think this is a little better. I agree with it being an A tier, but just magic protection potion has more uses than
Oh,
Troll's Blood does.
Troll's Blood also stacks with potions of healing.
No, I'm kidding. I do think it's a very good item, but I think magic protection's better. Yeah, I agree with it being an A tier. It's a very good item, but it's just not protecting you as well. I know we're not talking about how hard it is to get, but
Yeah.
I think generally it's for the rarity, it's just not that good. Maybe if it was 2 health a second for 40 seconds or something.
Also, yeah, you got to think about that. 100 seconds.
Yeah.
You could fight like 2-3 teams in that time, and the whole time you're getting healed.
Yeah, but I mean, this is an item you pop right before you're about to get into a fight. It's like a second wind thing, right?
Yeah.
It's you want to just have it. It's good though. It's good. Keys have no use in combat. I'm sorry, but if this is a tier list, so if this is a tier list, right? Look, Golden Key just goes like top of the list.
Skull Key is better than Golden
Skull Key is
now.
better than Old Rusty Key.
Nope, Skull Key is better.
Oh yeah,
than
you're right.
Golden
You're
Key
right.
now.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, because of uniques. Yeah, I think this is
Yeah,
the
that's
actual
right.
list. Mystical Gem would go above Lockpicks, and Luck Pot would go above Lockpicks as well. Trap Disarming Kit.
Terrible. Dog shit. Is there an F tier? Can we just
Pickaxe use in combat.
low C?
I mean, it's
It's
the only
better
thing
than
on
a
this list
Soul
that does
Heart.
damage.
It's better than a Soul Heart.
Yeah, but the Soul Heart has use, like you could bait revives and stuff. pickaxe is just the
Pickaxe
only
does
thing.
damage at least.
Yeah, it's better than all. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're right. You're right.
If you had to
Wait.
fight somebody, wait a minute. If you had to fight somebody and you had to choose between an oil lantern and a pickaxe. Yeah.
You know what? You're
There
right.
you go.
You're right.
That's a lot more accurate to me.